When you think of the Primera Division, you think of clubs like Porto, Benfica, Sporting CP and Braga. But what about clubs like Vitoria SC, who have a vast and rich history dating back 100 years? Currently sat 5th in the division and 4 points off a European place, it's safe to say Vitoria are heading in the right direction. However, as Ricardo has suggested, we are going to be jumping into AFC and rebuilding Vitoria FC and making them European champions. Remember, if you want to see me rebuild any club in EAFC, let me know in the comment section down below and I will get round to rebuilding them at some point. And also, don't forget to like the video so it gets more engagement, and subscribe to the channel as we are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get Vitoria rebuilt. So this is the Vitoria team we've loaded into, lads, and do you know what? I was expecting a lot worse than this. We have actually got some very, very good players like Silva, and Silva. However, I can't lie, lads, I'm not a fan of this formation, so this is getting changed ASAP. So because we have a vast number of centre-backs already at the club, lads, we're going to go with a 3-4-1-2 formation, which I think gets the best out of our current couple of players. And there's absolutely no way I could come to the Portuguese League and not use a tiki-taka style of play. And one thing that does massively encourage me, lads, is the squad is actually very, very young. There's a lot of room to develop this very, very young squad. However, lads, we cannot make any alterations to our squad until January the 1st, because in these rebuilds, we always disable the first transfer window. And when we do arrive in January, lads, we'll have 7 million euros to improve our squad. So we've sorted the formation, sorted the starting 11 and sorted the playing style. We've got nothing left to do but simulate forward to January the 1st and let's see how Vitoria are getting on in season 1. So if we're out at January the 1st, lads, now I know Vitoria are a good side given the fact they're 5th in the league in real life, but we're actually 4th in season 1, playing 16 games and we've lost 3 times all season. We're only 6 points off a Champions League spot. We're firmly cemented in the Europa League position. We could not have asked for a better start as Vitoria manager, and I'm a little bit confused by it. And look at the starting 11, lads, we've had some very good growth from our 2 star players, attacking midfielder Silva and striker Silva, both going to 75 rated. Now look at the starting 11, where do we need to improve? Well, we need another striker to replace Safira, and I'm thinking about bringing in a centre midfielder to replace Andre as he's retiring at the end of the season. We've identified our first transfer target of this Vitoria SC rebuild, and do you know what, lads? It's a Premier League forgotten man. Now if you saw Dele Alli's interview with Gary Neville, it was absolutely heartbreaking, and it was a real eye-opener at what the professional footballers do actually sometimes go through. He's 27-year-old, 74 rated, and Everton would only be looking for 4.9 to 6 million pounds from him. I think this could be a very, very solid pickup for Vitoria SC. And for just 4.9 million euros, lads, Dele Alli is joining Vitoria SC. So we've reached deadline day, lads, and there has been some outgoings to bring you up to date with. Rafael Oliveira has joined Dundee FC for £550,000. Adrian Butsk has joined FC Copenhagen on loan till the end of the season. Zicarlos has joined Besiktas on loan till the end of the season. Goncalo Nogueira has joined Kayserispor on loan till the end of the season. And we have sold Mikel Villanueva to Fiorentina for 3.5 million euros, meaning we have got 6 million euros to bring in a striker, and I've found just who I want. We have identified Rodrigo Ribeiro from Sporting CP as our primary striker target. He's 18-year-old and 70 rated, lads, and he'd be a great fit for our team. And we have brought in Rodrigo Ribeiro for 3.5 million euros from Sporting CP. And I think after bringing in Ali and Ribeiro, we've definitely added a little bit more quality to the squad, and I'm just hoping we can maintain our current league position. So we have arrived at the end of the season 1, lads, and we have secured Conference League football as we have finished 5th in Liga Portugal, just 1 point off a Europa League spot. And I have to say, lads, that has took me by surprise. We have had an excellent season. Now in terms of growth, lads, no player has really had any significant growth this season other than Silva in the centre attacking midfielder position. Going forward into next season, lads, I want to improve both winger positions, as Margaret is actually a right wing back and Mangas is 26-year-old and 70 rated, so we definitely need to improve them areas. And I also want to bring in a very, very solid centre back as well. Now in terms of stats, lads, Andre Silva was our best player this season, getting 17 goals and 9 assists. Alisson Safira had a good season as well, getting 11 goals and 1 assist, and I'm very, very happy with Dele Alli, lads. He got 8 goals and 3 assists in just 18 games. He turned out to be a great signing for us. Now unfortunately, our performance in the Taka Portuguesa was absolutely shocking. We were beaten round 1 by Sporting CP 3-1 and Benfica went on to win it. And before we head into season 2, lads, the next generation of Vitoria Wonderkids is currently sitting in our academy. Diogo Mercado and Elugio Miranda look like they are going to be key players in this rebuild. We just need to wait for them both to get to 16, get them in the first team, get them out on loan, then start integrating them into the starting 11. We'll also be saying goodbye to Kelton Bi, Jota Pereira and Andre as they are all leaving the club on expiry of their contract. So we have arrived in season 2, lads, and we have only got 14 million euros to improve our squad, so we're going to have to be very, very thoughtful with our transfers this summer. And unfortunately, lads, we've got a lot of contracts to renew this summer, which could really eat away at our transfer budget. Now before we get on with bringing some players into the football club, lads, we have had quite a few outgoings to get through. Elder Sarr has joined BSC Young Boys for 3.1 million. Nelson Daluz has joined Montpellier for 1.7 million. Goalkeeper Keeper Charles has joined Hull City for 970k. Academy graduate Joaquim Ribeiro has joined Cremonese on loan. Alisson Safira has joined Ghent for 1.65 million. Wonderkid Elugio Miranda has joined Famalicão on loan. And Jordi Peters has joined Gaziantep on loan till the end of the season. And finally, the big one, Miguel Maga has joined Sporting CP for 9 million euros, meaning we have now got 27 million euros to improve our squad. And we are wasting absolutely no time in spending this 27 million euros, lads. We've identified our first target of the summer, and it is Wonderkid Diego Moriora, the left winger from Chelsea. And Moriora becomes our first signing of the summer, joining the club for 3.7 million euros. Now, moving forward, lads, we are looking to bring in not one, but two young, very high potential centre-backs, and we have decided on Harel Hato from Ajax and Adamo Nagalo from Porto. And we have got our men, boys, the first being Harel Hato. He joins us for 4.4 million euros. And we have brought in Adamo Nagalo from Porto for 7 million euros. Now, after those signings, lads, we do still have 9 million euros to our name, and we don't actually have an out-and-out centre-attacking midfielder at the club, so I'm going to have a little scout about, see if I can find a suitable centre-attacking midfielder with very high potential and bring one into the football club. So, lads, one thing I think this Vitoria squad was lacking was a little bit of Brazilian flair. So we have brought in a Brazilian centre-attacking midfielder from the Premier League, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. This is an outstanding signing, lads. We have brought in Mateus Franco from Crystal Palace for 6 million euros. Franco is actually 72 rated and not a 71 rated. He joins us on a 5-year deal, and at just 20 years old, he has got so much room to grow. Now, the signing of Franco leaves us with just 5 million euros, which we're going to save till January, meaning this will be the starting 11 that takes us through to January the 1st, and I think that's a very, very strong squad on paper. Before we simulate to January the 1st, lads, let's take a quick look at our Conference League group. We have got Feyenoord, Zurich and Motherwell. Do you know what, lads? It could have been a lot worse than that, and I do actually fancy us to qualify to the knockout stages. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we currently sit 4th in Liga Portugal, just like last season, but we are only 2 points outside of the Champions League places, sitting firmly in the Europa League spot. Lads have had a great start to the season once again, and we topped our Europa League group, lads, finishing first, 4 wins and 2 defeats. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. However, we have not yet been given an opponent for the round of 16. Looking at the starting 11, lads, and we've had some really good growth from Nagalo and Hato. They're looking like very good incomings. Silver out on the right wings had a good season as well, so the squad's looking much stronger on paper now, boys. Now, we do have 5 million euros remaining, lads, but we have got some contracts to sort out with that money. As you can see, lads, we need to renew the contracts of 5 players, so that could use up all of our money. So we've managed to tie down most of the players, lads, but Jorge Fernandez and Jota Silva will both not be renewing their contracts as they want to leave the club. That's their loss, not ours. Leaving us with 4 million euros, lads, which we are going to save for next season. We're now going to be simulating forward to the end of the season, and I'm just hoping we manage to keep up our very impressive early season form. So we've reached the end of season 2, lads, and honestly, it's just a mirror image of last season. We finished 5th in Liga Portugal, a full 8 points off 4th place Sporting CP, so we have dipped in the second half of the season, but we are once again going to be playing in the Conference League next season. I think it's really important going forward that we actually bridge the gap between Conference League level and Europa League level. And speaking of the Conference League, lads, I am so impressed with the campaign we had. We got all the way to the semi-finals, being narrowly beaten 2-1 by Napoli. We managed to beat Feyenoord in the quarter-finals, and we managed to beat Lazio in the round of 16. I am so impressed with that campaign. And looking at the starting 11, lads, it is starting to take shape beautifully. Ali, Santos and Franco in the midfield are looking excellent, all having excellent growth. Hato and Nagalo had great growth as well. I think that team looks really strong on paper, lads. So going into next season, I want to bring in a new centre-back to replace Fernandez, and I'll likely bring in a new right midfielder as well. However, our wonderkid Elugio Miranda had an outstanding loan spell with Famalicão. He has grown to 69 rated. From the start of next season, he could be around 71 rated, so I'm thinking I might actually use him as our first choice right midfielder next season. In terms of stats, lads, Rodrigo Ribeiro and Andres Silva were joint on goals, getting 17 goals, and they both also got 5 assists as well. But Dele Alli once again had an outstanding season in a Vitoria shirt, getting 16 goals and 11 assists. He is back to playing his best football in the Portuguese league. So we've arrived in season 3, lads, and we have got 20 million euros to improve our squad. However, we have got the dreaded finish the season with 3 million euros unspent allocated funds, meaning we've actually got around 15 million euros to improve our squad. Now, as we know, lads, Fernandez and Silva have left the club, so our wonderkid Elugio Miranda is going to be given the opportunity to start at the right midfield position this season, as he has got such good potential, lads. As well as this, lads, we've got a lot of first team players out of contract at the end of the season, and we're going to have to renew some of these deals. That's going to eat away at some of our transfer budget as well. So, lads, we've brought in Fernandez's replacement in the centre-back position, lads, and we've been very smart about this deal. We have brought in 19-year-old Francisco Roca from Casapia for 4 million euros, using Zicarlos as part of the deal. Rocker is 19 years old, 74 rated, and he slots in nicely at the right side of our defence. Now, after the signing of Rocker and renewing multiple contracts, we're left with 16 million euros, meaning we can probably spend a further 13 million euros to improve our squad. Now, looking at the team, lads, I think it does look very, very strong, and obviously Miranda is the glaring weak point in the right midfield position, but he's got such high potential. I'm actually going to give him a chance this season. I'm going to give this team another chance this season to try and get into the Europa League at least, mainly because it's growing really, really nicely, lads. It's looking really, really good on paper, and we're also performing. We got to a semi-final of the Conference League last year. We finished 5th 2 seasons in a row. So we have reached transfer deadline day, lads, and we have got 3 outgoings to bring you up to date with. Tony Borevkovic joined Club Bruges for 2 million euros. Jordi Peters joined Sivasspor for 520,000 euros. Diogo Gomez joined Wickham for 1.15 million euros. And that is our transfer window completely finished, lads. Our Conference League group is in, lads, and do you know what? This is much, much easier than last season's. We have got Racco, Austria, Wien, and Bromby. We have to be getting through that group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and once again, we find ourselves sat 4th in Liga Portugal on the 1st of January. However, this time we are level on points with 3rd place Benfica and 5th place Sporting CP. So we are actually in touching distance of a Champions League position. Now, we once again topped our Conference League group, lads, which I'm not actually surprised about at all. And hopefully we can once again be successful in the Conference League, maybe even go one step further and win the whole thing. Now, looking at the starting 11, lads, we are having excellent growth from Mateus Franca, Tato, and Negalo. Ribeiro's going very nicely as well. And I do think this will be the season that we actually get an 80 rated player in the squad. Now, unfortunately, we will be losing Thiago Silva and Bruno Gaspar at the end of the season as they are both retiring. So like I said at the start of the season, lads, I'm willing to trust these lads to get us into the Champions League places, so we're not going to be making any signings in this January transfer window. So we have arrived at the end of season 3, lads, and as you can see, we finished 2nd in Liga Portugal, clinching Champions League football, and we was only 2 points off tabletop in Benfica. So Vitoria SC are playing Champions League football next season. And lads, we got all the way to the Taça Portuguesa final where Braga beat us 2-1. I'm absolutely gutted about that. Let's hope that we've done better in the Conference League. And we didn't manage to make the final, lads. The final will be between Union Berlin and Tottenham Hotspur, but we did make the semi-finals once again. We were beaten 3-2 by Union Berlin. We managed to knock out Lazio for the 2nd season running in the Conference League. And we also managed to smash Galatasaray 7-4 over 2 legs. So once again, lads, another incredible season as Vitoria manager. And we have had our first group of players reach 80 rated this season, lads. Ribeiro's reached 81, Franca 80, Plato 80 as well. Next season, I do expect Moriera, Rocker, and Nagalo all to reach 80 rated as well. So the growth in this squad is just absolutely brilliant at the moment. Our best player this season was Rodrigo Ribeiro, getting 30 goals and 20 assists in 48 games. That's 50 goal involvements in just 48 starts. That's incredible. So let's get into season 4, lads, and see how Vitoria get on in the Champions League. So we've arrived in season 4, lads, and we have only got 30 million euros to get Vitoria Champions League ready. And we once again have some key first team players out of contract in the summer, lads. So that's going to eat up some of our budget as well. So far in this rebuild, lads, the board have not really got involved too much. But this season, they've put the foot down. They want us to win the league title, and they want us to sign players under 20 years old with very high potential. So it's safe to say, lads, the pressure is on this season. We have got to deliver. So before we get into any incomings, lads, we have had some major outgoings to bring you up to date with. Jerry Mendes joined Famalicão for 1.3 million euros. Ricardo Mangas joined Anderlecht for 2.1 million euros. Giancarlo Nogueiro joined Gil Vicente for 1.5 million euros. Academy graduate Marcio Barros joined Venamo on loan. And the big one, lads, we have cashed in on Andre Silva. He has joined Rivals Sporting CP for 31.5 million euros. 10 million euros above his market value, meaning we do need a new striker in this window, and that leaves us with 61 million euros to improve our squad. So lads, we've identified Andre Silva's replacement, and once again, a bit like Dele Alli, this is another punt that could either pay off massively or massively backfire. We have gone for Fabio Silva from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, this man was tipped to be one of the best strikers on the planet, but he has just not lived up to that potential at all, so we're going to bring him back to his home country of Portugal, and a bit like Dele Alli, give him a second chance. He's 24-year-old, 81 rated, and I think he'll fit into our squad nicely. And we have confirmed the signing of Fabio Silva for 35 million euros. Now, after the signing of Silva, lads, we are left with 27 million euros. And my original plan for this transfer window was to bring in a centre midfielder, but do you know what, lads? I've changed my mind. I'm going to bring in a new goalkeeper to replace Varela, because he's 31-year-old and 77 rated, lads, and I think there's going to be much better options out there with the money we have. Now, lads, I have scoured the transfer market, and I just cannot find a goalkeeper to bring in with the 27 million euros we have that actually improves on Varela, and we can actually afford him. Now, Ricardo did suggest Guilherme Restes. He's currently currently at Everton, and he is well out of our price range, but this is a goalkeeper I want to bring into Vitoria SC, so that could be a position we go back and look into next season. In all honesty, lads, the squad does look good on paper. I think I'm going to leave it with just the one incoming for this window in Fabio Silva and just see how we're getting on in the run up to January. And when we do get to January, if I need to make improvements to the squad, I've got 27 million euros to do it. Our first ever Champions League group is in, lads, and Jesus, it's not looking good, bruv. We've got PSG, Real Sociedad and Rangers. Do you know what? I'll be amazed if we get through that group. So we've arrived on January the 1st, lads, and as you can see, we are sitting pretty at the top of the Liga Portugal, 1 point clear of second place Benfica, and we've only conceded 13 goals all season. We could not have asked for a better start in the league, lads. However, our Champions League campaign was a completely different story. We ended up finishing third, only winning 1 of our 6 games. I knew it were going to be an hard group, lads, but finishing third, that means we've dropped down to the Europa League, so hopefully we can kick on in the Europa League, and we will take on OGC Nice in the preliminary round of the Europa League. Now, looking at the squad, lads, plenty more players have now reached 80 rated, including Roca, Moriera, Ali, which I'm really happy about. Ribeiro and Franca are growing into excellent players, 84 and 83 rated as well. I'm going to stick with what we have until next season, lads. I don't think we need to go out splashing the cash. We're top of the league. We're in the Europa League. Stuff's going well. So we've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and unfortunately we did not manage to win the Liga Portugal. We've once again fell off in the second half of the season, finishing in third place, a whopping 14 points off title winners Sporting CP. We are really struggling to bridge the gap between like the Benficas and Sportings in the league. Like, we're still 14 points behind them. We have got a big summer coming up. However, lads, we did manage to pick up our first piece of silverware of the rebuild, winning the Taça Portuguesa. We managed to win 2-1 in the final, and I do not want to butcher that club's name because my pronunciations are shocking. Now, as you know, we dropped into the Europa League and we did not make the final. Inter Milan won the competition, and we made it all the way, lads, to the semi-final just to be knocked out by Crystal Palace 5-4, and I am gutted. Now, looking at the squad, lads, we have got an absolutely incredible squad on paper now. We only have 3 players now in the starting lineup who are under 80 rated, but Miranda will grow to near 90 rated, so I'm not worried about him. Going forward into next season, lads, we've got a new goalkeeper and a new centre midfielder, but I'm hoping we're going to have a big budget to do so. Our star player this season was Mateus Franca, getting 32 goals and 18 assists in 54 games. And he was matched by Rodrigo Ribeiro, who got 32 goals and 15 assists in 54 games. So next season, we're back into the Champions League, and I'm just looking for a better overall performance in the league and Champions League. And just to let you know, lads, Manu Silva will join AZ Alkmaar on the expiry of his contract. So we have arrived in Season 5, lads, and we've got 47 million euros to spend. And obviously, the board have stuck their nose and they want us to keep salary growth under 10%. And I have made it no secret at all that I want Guilherme Restes at Vitoria SC as our goalkeeper. He's 82 rated and 22 years old, lads. We only have 47 million euros in this transfer window, and it's looking like Everton are going to want around 50 million euros. So this deal would use up all of our transfer budget. And for a whopping 44 million euros plus Varela, we have brought in Guilherme Restes. And it's safe to say, lads, we are officially bankrupt. But just look at how much better that team looks with Restes in the goal. I genuinely think, lads, we have got one of the best squads in Portugal at the minute, and with Miranda's rate of growth as well, we could be looking at an entire 80+ rated team by the end of the season. We've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and the rest might go into being up to date with. Alberto Costa joined FC Cincinnati for 1.4 million euros. Fonzo Freitas joined Aruca for 2.5 million euros. Adrian Butsk joined Ghent for 6.2 million euros, and a Wonderkid academy graduate goalkeeper Thiago Pereira has joined Bois Linz on loan till the end of the season. Our Champions League group will consist of Napoli, Lyon and Malmo FF. That is another very tough group, lads. We're going to have to be at our best to get through that group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we sit top of Liga Portugal once again, 3 points clear of second place Benfica, only losing 1 from our first 16 games. But I'm not getting my hopes up, lads. We've bottled it from this exact same situation last season. And boys, we've actually managed to qualify from our Champions League group, finishing in second place, and we will take on Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16. What an achievement for Vitoria SC. And this season we have seen some massively significant growth in the starting 11. Ribeiro, Franca and Hato have all reached 87 rated. We've now got a full starting 11 over 80 rated, and they're all growing. I just really can't wait to get money next season and replace Santos. Now, as you know, we did sell quite a few players in the last window, and we were left with 17 million euros. No, we're not going to be spending it in this January window because we've got a lot of contracts to renew, so I'm not expecting any incomings or any outgoings in this window. We've arrived at the end of the season, lads, and as you can see, we have won our first Liga Portugal trophy, finishing a whopping 12 points clear of second place Porto, only losing 2 games all season. It's safe to say, lads, we have had an amazing season this time round. And we have done the domestic double, lads. We have beaten Benfica 4-1 to retain the Taça Portuguesa. What a season. We couldn't make it a treble though, lads, as we're not in the Champions League final. We didn't even make the semis. We were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Juventus 3-2, meaning we actually beat PSG 6-4 over 2 legs. That's an amazing result. Look at the starting 11, lads, and Nestes, Hato, Franco and Ribeiro have all grown into absolute beasts this season. I think going into next season though, lads, we definitely need to strengthen in the centre midfield position. Now, our standout player was once again Rodrigo Ribeiro, getting 40 goals and 10 assists in 53 appearances. This guy is an absolute beast. Fabio Silva had a great season, getting 24 goals and 8 assists, and Matheus Franco had an excellent season as well, getting 21 goals and 13 assists. So without further ado, lads, let's get into season 6 and try to win the Champions League. So we've arrived in season 6, boys, and we've got 72 million euros to improve our squad. Our first signing of season 6, lads, is definitely a little bit of star quality we've been lacking in the centre midfield position, and it's a Portuguese player as well. We have signed Matheus Nunes from Manchester City for 44 million euros. We've also had a notable outgoing, lads. Joaquim Ribeiro, our academy graduate, has joined Caligari for 23 million euros, meaning we've still got a further 45 million euros to improve our squad. And to be honest with you, lads, if we can bring in a better centre-back than Nagalo, I'll be made up with this transfer window. I've identified Marquinhos of Borussia Dortmund, 88 rated and 34-year-old, lads, and for 1 or 2 seasons I think this guy could be an amazing signing for us. Now, we have signed Marquinhos for 10 million euros plus Adamo Nagalo, and after the incomings of Marquinhos and Nunes, that team is looking frighteningly good on paper, lads. Could we actually mount a charge for the Champions League this season? So it's transfer deadline day, lads. I think this squad is definitely good enough to challenge for the Champions League trophy this season, so we're not going to be bringing anyone else in. If we do get to January though and we're struggling, we have got 27 million euros to improve the squad. And our Champions League group is in, lads, and we have got Barcelona, Celtic and Shakhtar Donetsk. That's a group we should be getting through. We have arrived at January the 1st, lads, and we have created a monster. We are once again top of Liga Portugal. We are 7 points clear of second place Braga. We've only lost once all season. We've scored 43 goals. We are by far the best team in Portugal. And this team just continues to amaze me. We qualified top of our Champions League group. We didn't lose a single game. And we will take on Liverpool in the round of 16. Is this finally our year in the Champions League? And that starting 11 is genuinely, it's frightening. So we've arrived at the end of the season, lads. And as you can see, we have once again won the Liga Portugal. We are absolutely dominating Portuguese football at the minute. And we only lost 1 game all season, finishing 16 points clear of second place Braga. And lads, I don't believe this. We've won our 3rd consecutive Taça Portuguesa. I have never in all my time rebuilding clubs seen domination just like this. And lads, this is just a cherry on the cake. Oh my god, we are in the Champions League final and we are taking on Marseille. That's a completely new opponent for me. And that squad is looking absolutely beautiful. We've got Restes, Hato, Franco and Ribeiro all over 90 rated. And before we do play the final, lads, it is time to check the stats. And Ribeiro, once again, 40 goals and 11 assists this season. The guy is an absolute monster. He's 92 rated at 24-year-old. Lads, you've got to be picking him up. Fabio Silva as well, getting 39 goals and 11 assists. He had another great season. Franco got 19 and 8, another great season. And Dele Alli, once again, at 33-year-old. What a signing he's been for us. 13 goals and 10 assists. Tell you what, for £4 million, what a pickup he was. And all that's left to do is play that final against Marseille at Old Trafford. So here we go, lads. We're taking on Marseille in the final. Marseille versus Vitoria SC for Champions League glory. It's 2 clubs you wouldn't really expect to see in a Champions League final, in all honesty. Definitely not Vitoria. Blocked by Marquinhos. If it went quiet, then I thought they were going to score. Franco. My first ever time using Franco and Fabio Silva. So, Silva, Franco. Oh, what an interception. Fair play. That's a great challenge. And Miranda is absolutely away here. It's a great run. Ribeiro. Oh, it's poor header. Lads, I'm sorry to say, there's been no chances. It's half an hour in. A couple of little half chances, but nothing really major note as we break away with Moriora on the wing. Play a 1-2 here, Ribeiro, which he does. Puts it back. Miranda, 1-0. What a finish. What a move that were, boys. That was silky, smooth football from Vitoria SC. And the passing on this wing between Ribeiro and Moriora was absolutely brilliant. Pulls it across to the penalty spot. And Miranda, our academy graduate, plants the ball into the top corner to make it 1-0 to Vitoria. What a finish that is, by the way. And that, lads, really, on 38 minutes... is the first real chance of this Champions League final. It has been very, very tight. Ends up in the back of the net, and oh, no. Oh, he's put it wide. He's dragged it wide. Matheus Franco, and that's half time, boys. 1-0 up at half-time. Very even. Not many chances. I'll take it, though, if it stays 1-0. And this time, we will get the kick-off. Come on, the boys. One half of football away from winning the Champions League. Can't lie, lads. Marquinhos has won every single header in this game. He's been brilliant. No one in the box, though. Cut inside. Have a shot. Oh, what a save by Trubbin. Brilliant save. We've had a really good half here, I can't lie. And Alidon, oh, that's brilliant. Whipping in for Fabio Silva. 2-0. What a goal. In a game that's been so devoid of chances, I think that has just secured us Champions League glory with Vitoria. And what a burst of pace this is from Dele Alli. Whips the ball. That is a beautiful cross right across the goal. And Fabio Silva heads it into the side netting. It is 2-0 to Vitoria. There's been 2 chances in this game, proper goal-scoring chances, and they've both gone in the back of the net. And Marseille can attack down this side. Where's on the defence? Oh, no. Oh, what a block by Marquinhos. And there's the full-time whistle, boys. We have won the Champions League with Vitoria SC. Goals from Miranda and Silva see us the champions of Europe. In a game that had so little chances, lads, we managed to take ours. And the Champions League trophy is coming back to Portugal. And it'll be Dele Alli to lift the Champions League trophy for Vitoria. A man who's been very open about his mental health issues, has come to Portugal and won the Champions League. And Vitoria SC are the champions of Europe. So just want to say a massive thank you if you managed to make it to the end of the video. Please consider leaving a like on the video so it gets more engagement, and subscribe to the channel as we're very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Let me know in the comment section down below who you want to see me rebuild next, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.